It's easy to do the right thing when it's convenient for you. The problem is whenever it's not. Hey everyone, I'm Andrew. I'm the owner of Lever Wealth Management, which is the financial advisor for people who scare financial advisors. I'm also a CFA Charterholder and a CFP professional who spent the last several years helping ultra high net worth and high net worth investors with their complex financial lives. And I take those learnings and give them to you so that you can apply them to your own life. Today, I'm going to talk about what your financial advisor doesn't want you to know. And this is the second video in this series of, I don't know how many videos. Let me start with this. I've been in this industry a while. There are good people across the board, okay? My reason for bringing these videos to light are to give my opinion on the financial industry, the financial advice industry in particular. It's not to say holistically, this is bad and this is good. There are always exceptions to the rule. The problem is conflicts. Conflicts of interest and incentive structures drive outcomes. And so I'm going to break it down by helping you understand who can give advice in the US. So there's about 300,000, give or take, financial advisors in the United States. There are commission-based financial advisors. There are fee-based financial advisors, and there are fee-only financial advisors. Commission-based just means I can only sell product to you. Usually these are captive insurance agents or people who may be an insurance broker, and then they also have a broker dealer on the investment side. So they've taken a Series 6 examination, which it takes a month or two to study for, and they can sell mutual funds. Whenever you go in and meet with this person, you are being sold a product. You're being sold life insurance, annuity, long-term care, disability, mutual funds, maybe ETFs or stock. The problem with that is when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Most people in this structure are held to what's called a suitability standard. And so what that means, and this is a silly example, but I use it because it resonates. I can go and take my son to McDonald's and it is a suitable meal. It is calories, and we both leave there and we go, you know what? We ate some food today. Also, McDonald's, don't sue me. But it may not be the best for our situation. Whereas if I go see a dietitian, the dietitian may say, well, Andrew, guess what? Based on your amount of activity and how you work out and your genetic makeup, you need this much protein, this many carbs, this many fats, and you need, of the fats, this many monounsaturated versus saturated, and you need to eat this type of lean meat versus this type of red meat. You get the idea. One of these, just make sure it's suitable. One of these, make sure it's in my best interest. Commission-based, the standard is suitable. Are there some people that work in others' best interest? Of course. Where most financial advisors lay at this point is fee-based. What does that mean? It means you can do this, but you can also give financial advice in a fiduciary context. The way this is usually done is through an assets under management model. Whenever somebody is managing your portfolio, they are required by law as an advisor with an advisory agreement to act in your best interest. The problem that arises, though, is if I pick on the commission base for a second, the way these companies incent their employees is by having them sell more things. And so you end up looking for people that fit your product. I'm looking for people that need this type of disability insurance, rather than working with your clients and saying, what fits you, right? When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, within the fee-based space, people who can sell product and they can give financial advice on an ongoing basis and get paid for it, You will be under a fiduciary relationship, which means a trusted advisor. I'm required to act in your best interest. The problem is, and I like using this example because I think I'm right with it. Somebody's saving $100,000 a year and you charge an assets under management fee and you say, hey, go ahead, ladder out some bonds and put them in my portfolio. You're probably going to make around 1% if you're the advisor on that. Well, $100,000, 1%, 1,000 a year of revenue. Or if the person needs insurance, you could say, hey, put it into this insurance policy. The way most people get compensated via an insurance policy, if they sell it, is you get anywhere from 30 to 50% of the first year's premium. If they save $100,000 a year to an insurance policy, you make $30,000 to $50,000 versus $1,000 as the advisor. Tell me how that's not a conflict. There are people out there who can turn that part of their brain off. I've not seen very many of them. Again, it's easy to do what's right for other people when it's convenient for you. But it's inconvenient when you have a 30 to 50x difference in potential compensation. If you have the ability to sell product and to manage money, there are conflicts that are very, very difficult to get rid of. Now, every single way of giving advice in a professional setting has conflicts of interest. The goal is minimizing them as much as you can and being as transparent as you can with those conflicts. The financial advice industry is anything but transparent with their conflicts of interest. Anything but it. Generally, financial advisors are compensated based on the assets they manage. Well, that itself creates significant conflicts of interest. You don't want people to pay off their mortgages. You want them to keep it invested. You don't want people to stay in their 401k. You want them to roll it over to you. You don't want people to have private investments. You want to keep it invested. You do want people to sell their private business to the private equity firm. Liquidity events mean you get compensated. You see what I'm saying here? Are there good advisors who work on an AUM basis? Tons. Many that I would send my mother to. But that doesn't erase the fact that there are significant conflicts of interest, especially when you can sell product. The fee-only space, depends on the statistic you look at, it's 2 to 5%-ish of financial advisors. The overwhelming majority of them in the fee-only space still charge based on assets under management. Not inherently wrong. However, what I would say, I do not think it is the future of financial advice. I think the future of financial advice is a flat fee for all wealth management, including investment management and financial planning together in one. People want advice and people want to delegate when I heard another person say, everyone hits their DIY end date. That's true. I've seen it. People don't want to have to carry the load forever, but they also don't want to pay someone 1% to manage their $4 million portfolio and pay them $40,000 a year. I had one client say, I looked in my highest expense in my household budget was my financial advisor. Should good advice cost money? Absolutely. But I think there's a little bit of an ignorance tax that goes on because some people have trouble converting a percentage to a dollar figure. To bring this all together, the commission-based is mostly going away, but be aware, right? When you're a hammer, everything's a nail. If somebody can only sell product, they're going to try to sell you a product. In the fee-based landscape, most advisors can sell product and give ongoing advice in an advisory capacity. In my opinion, that creates some very significant conflicts of interest that can be mitigated. It's not as if those are conflicts that can't be mitigated. They can. They're just not, because it gives an advisor 4, 5, 6 different revenue sources. Not to mention the fact that broker dealers incent advisors to bring over more assets and then they increase their fee payout on the back end. Does that help the client, or does that help the advisor want new assets? I digress. And if the only landscape, most people still charge based on those assets under management. However, I think the future is going to be flat fee pricing. And that's just my conviction. I could be wrong about it. But what I will say is the conversations that I've had with several of you, it definitely seems like there's a need and a want for that. And so my hope is over the next 3, 5, 10 years, that's where the industry starts to head. So I hope this is helpful to get a little bit of a breakdown of what's even out there. And until next time, see y'all.